Hi, my name is Robert Chelle, and I'm an attorney that assists dental associates with employment agreement and independent contractor agreement review. I have over 20 years of experience reviewing contracts for dental associates, and I just want to kind of go over what's a normal review look like, what are some of the main key components of the review, and what it matters most to dental associates. Obviously, there's been a lot of change in the industry over the last 5-10 years with DSOs coming in, gobbling up, dentist-owned practices. Things have changed, comp has changed. So we'll kind of discuss that a little bit. But overall, a contract is a contract, and the things that are most important to an associate, it really doesn't matter if it's privately owned or a DSO. So first, compensation. This is, I would say, probably the trickiest area for most dental associates. For the following reasons. For the most part, most dentists are not paid on a base salary. Maybe they are, but I would say for the most part, you'll get a per diem, meaning you'll get a certain amount, a guaranteed minimum per shift. If you are paid on pure collections, which isn't uncommon, but for any dental associate, the thing you need to worry about is if you have no minimum guarantee and you're only paid on collections, you are setting yourself up for failure in a new job for several reasons. One, let's say a practice has a bunch of different dental associates, they're all paid on collections, you will be fighting for patients. Because if you are not seeing a patient, you are not getting paid anything. There's also a lag in payment. So a normal accounts receivable cycle for an insurance claim is anywhere between 30 to 90 days. And so if you're only paid on collections, say you start on day one, it may be 60 or 90 days before you see any money coming in, unless you're in a fee for service practice, doing a lot of cosmetic stuff, that type of thing. So that's something to really scrutinize if you're a new dental associate. How am I getting paid? Is it guaranteed for a period of time? You would always want at least 3 to 6 months of a guarantee or a daily minimum. And that way, it kind of assists you in transitioning into, the percentage of collections. Next would be reworks. This is, I would say 50% of the time, this can be an issue. And what I mean by that is if there is a rework that needs to be done after the contract terminates, many offices will make the associate responsible for that care, or perhaps have to pay the clinic back if someone else has to do the care. This is pretty big in ortho as well, because if people pay up front and then the associate is paid for the treatment, and then they leave, but they're still only halfway through. How does that work? So who is responsible if something has to be redone is important. Really the only industry where this becomes an issue, but the language about that certainly is specific to dental associates and something that people don't really think about but can really affect you. Just think of it, if you leave a job and then they're requiring you to be available for 6 months to a year after the contract ends, that's just that's not something you could do. What if you move out of state? It's just it's something that really requires scrutiny and making certain that the language doesn't kind of tie you down after the contract ends. How to terminate the contract. This is another thing you got to be careful of. If you're paid purely on collections and you can't terminate the contract for a period of time, you could be stuck in a situation where you're making no money and you can't get out of the contract. So you want to make certain you have somewhere between 30 to 90 days without cause termination. 60 to 90 is kind of the industry standard amounts. And what that would mean is at any time you could just give 60 days notice, work out those 60 days, and then you're free to leave. Another particularity to dental associates who are on collections, one thing you want to be careful of is sometimes when you give notice, the practice will just essentially cut you off. They will not give you any new patients, and your comp is just going to go down the last 2 months. So you want language in there that just says the practice will agree not to significantly reduce your schedule during the notice period, and that way you're not getting kind of screwed as far as your compensation goes in the last 2 to 3 months of you working there. Non-competes, always important. For most states, they are enforceable. More and more states have kind of moved towards either restricting them or limiting them or making them unenforceable completely. But for the most part, the vast majority of states will still enforce them to some degree as long as they're reasonable. So it's important for a dental associate to think, all right, what's going to happen if the contract ends? Do I need to stay in the city? Do I have family there? Do my kids go to school there? Did I grow up here? And that can be a kind of key part of any negotiation is, all right, if the contract ends, how is this going to restrict me from practicing and where and in what specialty and that type of thing? So scrutinizing that language is very important as well. Malpractice insurance, benefits, all of these things are important components of contract that we discussed during the review. I'm going to try to keep this video short. I guess I kind of a nerd about this stuff. I could talk about this for a long time, but I'm going to cut it short here. If you have any questions about your employment contract or independent contractor agreement, feel free to contact my law firm. All the contact info is listed below in the description. Once again, my name is Rob Chelle, and I appreciate you watching the video. Thanks. Bye.